Hey lovely people, welcome to my channel. So guys, in today's video we want to talk about those who are on visa sponsorship in the United Kingdom. Whether you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a midwife, you're a radiographer, you're a physiotherapy, you're a dietitian, as long as you're on a visa sponsorship, or you are on a skilled worker visa, or you are on a health and care visa, even if you're a carer, even if you're an healthcare assistant, irrespective of what you are, even if you're a student visa, this video actually concerns you, because we are going to be talking about what happens if you lose your job, if you get your job terminated, or if you get sacked, or probably what happens if you have a bad employer. When we mean a bad employer, we mean if you are fortunate or unfortunate to be with the wrong employer, or if you are with an employer that puts you at risk, what happened? What's the next plan of action? Because as we know, the United Kingdom is one country that has a very strict rules, and whatever they say, they implement it. Every single thing they've said, they implement it in the United Kingdom. So we don't want to take any chances. We want to know what's the plan, what happens next. So that's why we'll be doing this video today. All right, so if you are seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Violet Okolocha. I'm a registered nurse. I live and I practice in the United Kingdom, and I help a lot of nurses pass their OSCE exam in first sitting. So do well to like this video, do well to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get to the topic for today.
Ryan Little.
All right guys, so welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to have you here today. Now, like we were saying, for those who happen to be on a visa sponsorship in the United Kingdom, and probably you are with the wrong employer, or you are with the bad employer, or you are with an employer that puts your job at risk, or probably what's the plan of action? What happens next if you get your job terminated, sacked, or whichever the case may be, what happens next? Because it's very good you are aware. Now, as you all know, your employer have a lot of obligations they have to obey. They have a lot of immigration rules your employer have to obey. For example, your employer have the obligation to inform the UK government within 10 working days if there is any changes to your employment. That's your employer's responsibility. Now, you an employee, you have the responsibility to do too. Like, you have a lot of immigration rules as an employee that you have to obey. We know those rules, but let me give you one of them. For example, as an employee, you know you are not entitled to public fund because you are still on visa sponsorship. Number two, as an employee as well, you know that from August 27th, 2023, you are not allowed to work more than an extra of 20 hours outside your contracted hours. Now, same goes for your employer. Another obligation your employer has is they are not allowed to sell certificates or sponsorship. And that is why you saw in recent times those employers who were caught selling certificates of sponsorship, they got their licenses revoked, or they got their licenses withdrawn. So they are no longer able to issue certificates of sponsorship. And you see, your employer, like I said, has the right to inform the UK government within 10 working days if there is any changes to your employment. Okay, so now what happens if, for instance, your COS is revoked, or your employer sacks you, or your employer terminates your job? Whichever the case may be, your employer has to inform the Home Office within a period of 10 working days to inform them that this employee now has a change to her employment. Probably we've terminated her employment, probably we've sacked her, or probably we've withdrawn her COS. So as soon as they inform the Home Office will send you a mail or rather they will send you a letter to your post. You may end up getting both of them. You may end up getting a mail and also getting a letter to your post. Now once you receive the letter they send to your post, you have a total of 60 days to leave the United Kingdom. Now within that 60 days you have two options. One of the option is either to leave the United Kingdom within that 60 days and do nothing. You just okay, since I came here and obviously my CS was withdrew, or probably I got terminated, or probably I lose my job. Don't worry, we'll talk about those who are with the wrong employers. So once the Home Office sends you that letter, you have two options, like I said, either to do nothing, go back to where you came from, obviously, because of course you're on a visa sponsorship one, or you look for a job within that 60 days. Now 60 days is almost 2 months, or 60 days is 2 months. So within that 2 months, your second option or your second bet is to, number one, start getting your CV ready, apply for jobs. After applying for jobs, you have to now wait to be shortlisted. Now when you are shortlisted, you have to wait to get an interview date. Now once you get an interview date, you have to wait to hear from the company that probably, hello Mr. A, hello Mrs. A, you've gotten a job with this company and we'll be in touch with you shortly to offer you your letter of employment. Now within that 60 days, you have to get your letter of employment. Within that same 60 days, you have to get your offer of employment, and you have to wait to get your certificate of sponsorship to confirm that you can now apply for visa. Now within that 60 days, you have to apply for visa with your COS, and within that same 60 days, you have to make sure your visa has been approved or your visa is out. Now did you see, guys, that 60 days is quite a short time to get all these done? Do you understand? So there's a possibility that you may not even get all this done within 60 days. And if you don't get all this done within 60 days, or you decide to stay in the UK more than 60 days, there is a penalty. And the penalty is you become an overstayer. Do you understand? So if you don't leave the UK within 60 days, or you are unable to secure a job, get a new visa within 60 days, and you are still in the United Kingdom, you become an overstayer. And if you are an overstayer, you know there's a penalty. And the penalty is when you now leave the United Kingdom and you want to come back to the United Kingdom, you may not be granted visa because you broke the rules, you became an overstayer. It's just like somebody who is on a visit visa and you stay more than your 6 months. There's a penalty. If you stay in the UK more than 6 months, and you apply for another visa, you may not get it. So you don't even want to be what? An overstayer. Now what does that tell me? What does that tell you? If you have a wrong employer, or you have a bad employer, or you have an employer that puts you at risk or puts your job at risk, you don't need anybody to tell you that you have a bad employer. As you're watching my video, or as you're sitting down, or whichever position you are while watching this video, you know if you have a bad employer. You don't need to be told. Your best bet is to start looking for another job. Now your employer has not sacked you, your employer has not terminated your job, your employer has not withdrawn your certificate of sponsorship, but you know that it is not the best of employer. You know that they are not treating you fine. You know that they are bad, they are wrong employers, they are putting your job at risk. You don't have to wait. All you need to do, my darling, my sweetheart, is to start looking for another job. Now when you get another job, get your offer of employment, get your certificate of sponsorship, apply for a new visa, make sure your visa comes out, then what do? Then you can now leave your wrong employer, or your bad employer, or your employer that puts your job at risk. So you don't have to wait. So I hope we have been able to learn 1 or 2 lessons from this video. And can I also say, in addition, if you are among those who are paying for COS, can I please beg you to stop paying for certificate of sponsorship? Because if you pay for certificate of sponsorship to an employer and that employer is caught, they will get their license revoked, and you who they've given certificate of sponsorship, even if you're already working, it affects you. So you fall into the category again. So please do not pay for any certificate or sponsorship. Okay, guys, I hope we have been able to learn one or two things from this video, and I hope I've been able to add one or two values to you today. I will see you in another of my juicy videos, and until I see you again, keep being the best. I love you all. Have a lovely day. Bye, guys.